Greetings whisky lovers and welcome to Whisky Straight. My name's Al and thanks for joining me on another episode of my spiritual journey. Tonight I'm heading back to Powers. My first review, as you will know, was of the Powers Gold Label, which is the introduction of the range. But tonight I'm going right up to the top of the range to give you my thoughts on the Powers John's Lane. Now, for anybody that knows their stuff about Irish whisky, you'll know that John's Lane was viewed as the spiritual home for pot still whisky, and this particular expression here was created to celebrate the heritage of Powers and pot still whisky. Now, I know I said in previous reviews that I wasn't one for going much into the history, but because the fact that this one is based on the heritage it's brought out to celebrate pot still whisky, which Powers is famous for, I'll go a wee bit into the background of Powers for those who don't know it, but not too much depth. Now, Powers basically was started in 1791, and they had a distillery in Thomas Street in Dublin. Now, that didn't last very long, and they moved to bigger premises in what was John's Lane, and that's where the pot still legend was born, where they crafted and mastered the production of pot still whisky. Now, that continued for many years, and right up until into the 1970s, in fact. But prior to that, in 1966, I know 1966 is famous for a lot of things in England. Keep on going about winning the World Cup, but for us whisky lovers, it was a bigger year in the fact that it marked the merger of Powers with Jameson and Cork Distilleries companies, and they formed the Irish Distillers, which is still going to this day. Now, in 1975 they moved to the current premises in Middleton in County Cork, and then roll on another 12 years. 1988 they were taken over by Pernod Ricard, and that gave them greater access to a more global market, more brands, and basically a bigger marketing power. But thankfully that hasn't done anything to water down the quality of the drinks that we see coming from them. So how does this all translate into what we've got here in the Powers John's Lane? It's bottled at 46% ABV, and it's been matured for 12 years. So how does that translate into what we see in the bottle, and does it really do justice to pot still whisky? Let's give it a go and see. So first on the nosing, yeah, now we're getting nice aromas there of dried fruits, toffee, and there's a bit of charred oak coming through there on the tail end, just of the first real sniff, and it's quite how can we put it? It comes through even from the top of the Glencairn. You can get those good strong aromas. Right, as you go a bit deeper into the glass there, that toffee and the charred oak was still there, but they develop into a richer, more fuller flavour with a bit more body, and it's really rich. It just leaves you wanting more, and you get a bit of tobacco leaves coming in there as well. It's very rich, it's very vibrant. It's a nosing that you know that you're onto a winner right before you even take the first sip. So let's see how it tastes. Yeah, that's really nice. We've got spiciness coming in there to the front, but there's stewed fruits and a hint of clove there as well, which sort of goes with the spiciness of it all. Now this is one of the things I love about whiskey, because on the first sip and the second sip you can get so many different things, so many different flavours. And now when you come in on the second sip, you get vanilla, honey, that sweetness that both of them bring. And there's a wee burst of red berries in there too. They pop up and give it a nice, vibrant, fresh burst. But then as it lingers, that lovely charred oak comes back into play. It's very, very nice. Yeah, now the finish in this is quite long. It lingers. It retains the dark charred oak sort of flavours, and as it lingers, you get a coffee flavour, some dark chocolate. It coats the mouth really well, and all those flavours and aromas just come together brilliantly well. This is a really top class whiskey. Now, what would I say overall about this? It's a really masterful whiskey. It's a great overall package. The whiskey itself, it's rich, it's full bodied, it's vibrant. There's a lot of character in there, big character. I would call this pot still brilliance, and it really does achieve what it set out to achieve, and encapsulates in a bottle what the history of John's Lane Distillery is all about. It would have been so easy for the Irish distillers to come up with this idea of celebrating the heritage of Powers whiskey and firing out some gimmicky hacked up product, some fancy bottling, get it all marketed up to cash in on a quick buck. But they haven't done this here, because that would have no longevity, and in fact it probably would have done harm to the overall Powers brand. So what Powers have done here, they've done right. They have created and encapsulated in this whiskey and in the overall package what Powers is all about, what pot still whiskey is all about. And as well as getting this lovely vibrant whiskey, you get it here in a quite nice stylish box. And as well as that, if you can see behind me here, it includes a poster of a lovely picture of the John's Lane Distillery. But on the reverse side of that, there's a great account written by Alfred Barnett of the John's Lane Distillery. Now, Alfred Barnett was probably he's viewed by some as the first whiskey blogger. He's a guy who was big into his whiskey, big into his writing about it, and writing about distilleries. And it's a great account, and it's well worth the read. And for that alone, it's well worth buying a bottle of this. But the other thing you've got to take into account is, for 50 quid, the 50 quid range, to get a bottle of that quality is remarkable. As I say, it encapsulates what it set out to do. The whiskey is remarkably good. The overall package is stylishly presented. It will have longevity. It's a mighty fine whiskey. It's just absolutely beautiful, and I would thoroughly recommend, if you haven't tried it, to pick up a bottle, pick up a couple of bottles, even if you want to keep one. I'm not a fan of keeping them, I'm a fan of drinking them, but to each their own. This is a great Irish whiskey, and if you haven't had it, you're really missing out. It's mighty fine stuff, one of the best. So thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe, keep on dramming, and most of all, enjoy your whiskey. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification to stay up to date with future videos and reviews, and of course, if you like, follow me on social media as well. So cheers folks, look after yourselves, Sláinte.